So at this time, we're going to have our presentation from Innovation, Safety, and Congestion Relief Initiatives in Lakewood from Christopher Mara of GPI. Christopher, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christopher Mara with GPI, and I'm the Deputy Project Manager for the Kennedy Boulevard and County Line Road Corridor Improvements Project. I'd like to thank Sarvjit Kalon for giving me the opportunity to present some of the innovative congestion relief and safety initiatives we came up with for this project. Hope if this thing was on. This presentation will quickly review our project team, existing conditions, key issues, and alternatives development before we get into some detail on the preliminary preferred alternative, also known as the PPA, and some of the public outreach methods. The project team consisted of Ocean County, NJTPA, NJDOT, and the consultant engineering team led by GPI. Public outreach efforts were supported by Stokes Creative Group. MFS performed survey for the project area to assess existing conditions and develop conceptual alternatives. Urban engineers evaluated the existing conditions, performed traffic analysis and modeling, prepared and evaluated various conceptual alternatives. TechniQuest conducted traffic data collection, which consisted of manual turning movement counts, ATR counts, Q counts, which were used to develop and calibrate our traffic model. And Dresner Robin and Richard Grubb Associates prepared the environmental screening and Section 106 initiation. The project limits extend along County Line Road and Kennedy Boulevard from Laurelwood Avenue to Squonkam Road, which is located in the northern limit of Lakewood Township and Ocean County, with Howell Township and Monmouth County immediately north of the project area. US Route 9 nearly bisects the project corridors, providing a vital north-south link for the area and region. Project area is a mix of residential and commercial properties. The project is based on the 2017 Transportation Model Update for Ocean County, which had determined that both corridors would exceed their available traffic capacities this year. It included recommendations for adding through lanes along County Line Road and a two-way left turning lane along Kennedy Boulevard. Anyone familiar with Lakewood and the surrounding areas knows that there has been significant development and expansion, which is driving increases in traffic, both in the immediate project area and the general region. As part of our project, we developed traffic volume growth rate by comparing NJTPA population and employment projections, as well as the NJTPA regional transportation model projections. And using the most conservative figure, we developed an escalation rate, which was used to evaluate our alternatives out to the design year of 2050. Within the project area, County Line Road consists of 4 and 2 travel lanes west and east of the intersection with Heathwood Avenue, and has posted speed limits of 45 and 40 miles per hour west and east of Forest Avenue. The 2-lane section typically features a center turning lane to facilitate left turns on the various side streets. Kennedy Boulevard consists of 2 travel lanes and is posted 30 miles per hour for the section between Lexington Avenue and Forest Avenue, with the remainder of the project area posted at 40 miles per hour. In addition to the aforementioned traffic capacity issues, both roadways have incomplete sidewalk networks, as can be seen in this photo on the slide. County Line Road generally lacks shoulders which could be used by bicyclists, while Kennedy Boulevard does feature relatively wide shoulders, but lacks bicycle facilities. The signals along both roadways generally lack coordination, particularly with the state-owned signals at US Route 9. We also have aggressive driving throughout the project area, but of particular concern in the area of the 4-lane section of County Line. In terms of safety, the project corridors had 1,088 crashes for the 5-year period from 2018 to 2022. Overrepresentations, which is a comparison of site crashes to the entire county roadway system, include right angle, rear end, side swipe, left turn, and pedestrian and bicyclist crashes. Of most concern are the right angle, left turn, pedestrian, bicyclist crashes, as they tend to be more severe, resulting in injuries or fatalities. The project team performed a traffic data collection program in October of 2023, making sure that the counts were performed during typical weekdays and weekends, which do not coincide with federal, state, religious holidays, or local events. We also performed travel time runs and Q counts, which were used to calibrate our traffic model to reflect the observed conditions in the field. And using the aforementioned volume projections, we developed no-build alternatives, which were analyzed for various design years from current day through 2050. To address the capacity issues along County Line Road, 2 through lanes are required in each direction. project team briefly investigated the feasibility of widening the roadway to accommodate the required roadway cross-section, which is depicted in this graphic. Shown in green dashed lines are the existing edges of pavement for the roadway, and shown in red are the various structures which are in close proximity to the widened section. Depending on location, County Line Road would need to be widened between 12 and 18 feet on each side to accommodate the required cross-section. Approximately 8 to 15 feet of additional space would be required beyond the roadway widening to construct necessary sidewalks for pedestrians and accommodate roadside grading. This amount of widening would likely require full right-of-way takings of at least 40 residences and businesses, as well as significant impacts to the Woodlawn Cemetery near the intersection with Route 9. These impacts would likely preclude this project from advancing. In addition, safety may be further diminished due to the longer pedestrian crossing distances and left turns into and out of various unsignalized side streets and driveways, which would need to cross additional through lanes of traffic. This could increase the amount of pedestrian and crashes throughout the corridor. Due to these concerns, the project team dismissed further investigation of the 5-lane section along County Line Road. To address the project's purpose and need, the project team investigated 3 primary alternatives along County Line Road and Kennedy Boulevard, as well as 2 alternate options for addressing their intersection with Squonkam Road. Alternative 1 maintains the existing traffic patterns of the roadway network and improves traffic operations by optimizing the existing signalized roadway network. Alternative 2 converts County Line Road and Kennedy Boulevard to 2-lane, one-way roadways, County Line Road in the eastbound direction and Kennedy Boulevard in the westbound direction. Alternative 2 also proposes to construct on-street buffered bicycle lanes along both roadways. Alternative 3 proposes the same one-way pair as Alternative 2, but with a separate paved side path, also known as a shared use path, which can accommodate bicyclists and pedestrians along both roadways. With these primary alternatives, we also investigated 2 options to address the one-way conversion at the eastern project limit with Squonkam Road. Option A consists of constructing a single hybrid modern roundabout to replace the existing pair of signalized intersections, while Option B maintains the 2 signalized intersections, but requires widening and reconstruction to provide additional turning lanes to accommodate traffic. Lastly, we had the no-build alternative, which served as the baseline comparison for all other alternatives developed for this project. Today's presentation will only focus on our PPA, which consisted of Alternative 3 and Option A. For the LCD study, we had developed renderings of the proposed cross-section to better visualize each alternative. Here's our rendering of the PPA, which shows the 2-lane, one-way reconfiguration of Kennedy Boulevard and County Line Road, as well as the proposed 10-foot wide side path along the right-hand side of the roadway. The PPA includes coordination and optimization of the signalized intersections within the project limits, as well as completion of the sidewalk network. We also identified advantages and disadvantages of each alternative. The PPA provided long-term congestion improvements, full pedestrian and bicycle connectivity, enhanced pedestrian safety, and shoulders which could be utilized for on-street parking. Disadvantages of this alternative included easements and right-of-way takings which would be necessary for construction, the sidewalk, side paths, and roundabout at Squonkam Road. In addition, we considered that the wider side path may not be favored by property owners due to the additional snow maintenance. By converting County Line Road and Kennedy to one-way, the need for dedicated left turn lanes was eliminated, which allowed us to provide a consistent cross-section throughout, as well as shoulders. This provides the opportunity to construct curb extensions at intersections, which improve pedestrian visibility, shorten pedestrian crossing distances, and keeps people from parking too close to the intersection, for Title 39. The one-way conversion will require further coordination with NJ Transit following this design phase to relocate any bus stops so that they are for right-hand pickup and drop-off. Lastly, we're also looking at including channelization at various T intersections to reduce the potential for wrong-way turns under the one-way conversion. In developing of the one-way conversion, the project team had to address how traffic would be directed at both project ends. Proposed improvements at the western project limit at Laurelwood Avenue are shown here. The approaching westbound traffic along Kennedy Boulevard would be tapered down to a single lane prior to navigating the curve at Laurelwood Avenue. The roadway would also be narrowed via curb extension, and the pedestrian crossing would be relocated so it is more visible to approaching traffic. Both the curb extension and the curve will contribute to traffic calming and slow vehicles at this location. Traffic approaching County Line from Laurelwood Avenue will have a dedicated right turn lane and a combined through left. The right turn lane will operate essentially as free flow unless pedestrians press the push button to cross Laurelwood Avenue. Since Route 9 is under the state's jurisdiction, modifications to the intersections with County Line Road and Kennedy Boulevard will require NJDOT approval. Left turns from both directions of Route 9 will need to be accommodated from the segment between both corridors, so widening of Route 9 will be necessary. A bus stop pull-off will be provided in the northbound direction, as it currently is today in the shoulder, and the southbound bus stop will be maintained in the right lane. In addition, proposed improvements at Route 9, both Forest Avenue and Clifton Avenue, will be reconfigured to provide dedicated left turning lanes and through lanes. It should be noted that a significant safety and operational benefit of the one-way conversion is that left turns from County Line Road or Kennedy Boulevard can be made without having to cross opposing traffic. So we're reducing conflict points and improving operations along this corridor. The project team developed simulation videos to demonstrate the improvements of the PPA compared to the no-build. This video shows traffic operations at the center of the project corridor from Forest Avenue to Clifton Avenue. Circled in blue are key locations which typically experience significant congestion and queuing during our peak hours. As you can see, under the no-build conditions, queues extend beyond the limits of the video and into adjacent intersections, which often results in gridlock. The one-way conversion of the PPA significantly reduces the queuing and better accommodates traffic from side streets at the various intersections, including Route 9. In addition to simulation videos, our traffic model was used to develop travel times from various start and end points within the corridor for each alternative. Each color in this graphic corresponds to the travel time in the table. For example, the trip from the western project limit at Laurelwood Avenue, which is in blue, to Route 9 northbound takes approximately 6 minutes under current day conditions. Under the PPA in 2040, that trip would take nearly half the amount of time. For the one-way pair alternatives, two options were developed to address traffic operations at the eastern project limit with Squonkam Road. Option A proposes to construct a 5-leg modern hybrid roundabout to replace the existing pair of signalized intersections. Overall, the roundabout operates at a level service D or better during all peak periods and better accommodates traffic through both peak hours and off-peak hours when you compare it to a signalized option. The larger footprint of the roundabout does require two-fold right-of-way taking. The splitter islands along the east approach will require reconfiguration with the driveway access and circulation of adjacent commercial parking lots. The project team recognized that local officials, stakeholders, and the public may have reservations regarding roundabouts, which would need to be addressed during our public outreach to earn their support. We've prepared the simulation video to demonstrate the operational benefits of the roundabout and provided additional information during outreach to highlight some of the safety benefits of the roundabout as well. As you can see, the roundabout option outperforms the signalized option during the worst-case 20:50 p.m. peak hour. Another advantage of the roundabout for this specific location is that it will better mitigate potential wrong-way movements from the two-way traffic along County Line Road East. Through our alternatives analysis and public outreach process, we developed a PPA which addresses the purpose and need of the project and incorporates FHWA proven safety countermeasures. We are able to better accommodate future traffic volumes while also improving safety and accessibility throughout the project area for all road users. With the proposed improvements, there are several impacts which we considered and quantified in our alternatives matrix, including right-of-way, access, utilities, stormwater management, on-street parking, and the overall project cost. Public outreach consisted of various modes of engagement throughout the LCD process. 2 sets of local officials, stakeholders, and public information center meetings were held, once in the beginning of the project and development of the purpose and need statement, and once towards the end of the project to solicit comments on the alternatives and PPA. A project website was developed along with a dedicated email account for soliciting input from stakeholders and the public. NJDOT subject matter experts are also reviewing the project since it is federally funded and it intersects with Route 9, which is under NJDOT jurisdiction. Lastly, the project team requested resolutions of support from Lakewood Township and Ocean County to help the project advance to the next phase of design. A project website was developed which served multiple purposes, provided background information on the project team, and delivery process. It also served as a central location for providing updates, meeting notices, meeting recordings, and project-related resources. Lastly, it provided a single location where the public could provide input or ask questions for the project team. We had also developed a community input survey, which was mailed to residents and stakeholders within the project area and available to fill out on the project website. The survey asked residents how they typically use the roadways, what issues they felt should be addressed, and what potential improvements they would like to see as part of the project. This input was collected prior to our initial outreach and helped the project team develop and refine the purpose and need statement. Additionally, the project team hosted a fieldwalk meeting with representatives from NJTPA, NJDOT, Ocean County, Lakewood Township, and the consultant team early on in the LCD study. Similar to a road safety audit, the meeting was intended to solicit input from a wide range of backgrounds and perspectives and help the project team identify potential issues and opportunities for improvement. This meeting also helped introduce the project and project team to various local officials and stakeholders prior to our formal public outreach. Two public information center meetings were held during LCD. Project team advertised these meetings using mailers to residents and stakeholders, handouts to local businesses, installing yard signs throughout the project limits, running advertisements in local online newspapers, sending email blasts via the project website and email account, providing notices on NJTPA and Ocean County social media accounts. The first PIC, intended to solicit input on the draft purpose and need statement, was held online, and its recording was hosted on the project website to accommodate anyone who could not attend. The second PIC, intended to present the alternatives in PPA, was held in person at Lakewood Township's courthouse. It was held as an open house format where attendees could come up and view the project plans up close and discuss the project with the project team members one-on-one. We had also set up a project simulation video running on repeat on TV screens so participants could view that and discuss with the team as well. Halfway through the PIC time slot, we made a formal presentation to further explain the project, the background, purpose and need statement, project delivery process, funding, and timeline. So throughout our various public outreach methods, local officials, stakeholders, and the public provided insight into the key safety, operational, accessibility issues that the project team needed to address as part of this project. Number one on the list was addressing congestion, gridlock, poor signal coordination, as well as the lack of turning lanes at key intersections. Proposed one-way pair addresses congestion in the long term by increasing capacity and coordinating the signals, both county and state-owned. In addition, it eliminates the need for dedicated turning lanes, as well as turning movements no longer need to contend with an opposing direction of traffic. Another key issue identified by stakeholders was safety along the 4-lane section of County Line Road between Laurelwood Avenue and Heathwood Avenue. During LCD, Ocean County implemented interim improvements at the Laurelwood Avenue intersection and is also in the process of designing a new traffic signal at the Cedarview Avenue intersection to address safety concerns before the PPA can advance to construction. There was a consensus with local officials, stakeholders, and the public, and the project team that the project must provide complete sidewalk network throughout the project limits, so that was included in the PPA. Lastly, members of the public noted that several intersections have obstructed sight corner triangles, which make it difficult to navigate, particularly for non-signalized intersections. The PPA addresses substandard intersection sight distance in 2 ways. The one-way conversion will allow for full shoulders along County Line Road, and construction of the missing sidewalk segments and side path will help clear the corner sight triangles in general. So through a robust public outreach campaign and alternatives analysis, the project team was able to develop a preliminary preferred alternative which addresses the safety, operational, and accessibility issues along County Line Road and Kennedy Boulevard. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone from the project team, including Mark, Greg, and Sean from Ocean County, as well as Sargent and Sasha from NJTPA, and everyone from the consultant team. It was a pleasure working on this project with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Sounds like a